Well, the majority of small businesses in Kimberley are closed. Business owners say this is to protect themselves as the national shutdown is in full swing. However, one young person who owns a vegetable and fruit business says he cannot afford to close. Let's bring in SABC News reporter Neria Hlakotsa. Neria, how is the situation in Kimberley this morning?
Good morning to you. So as we're driving around Kimberley since morning, we are noticing that small businesses across Kimberley have decided to close. And some of them, of course, when we speak to them, they're saying that they just want to protect themselves and their stock more than anything. But I must say that this has left some of the residents desperate and frustrated, because residents were saying that they are even unable to get necessities such as bread or milk or any other thing that they usually get from these small businesses. But in our quest to see what is happening around Galeshewe, we also found at least one stall, vegetable stall, that was open, and this is one amongst just a few that are open. And right now we are joined by Brandon, who works at the stall, and he was telling us that he can't afford to close shop at this point. So let's just talk to him and find out, why is he open, and isn't he scared maybe of the possible looting that people are talking about? Brandon, thank you so much for joining us. You are open, and I can see the stores around you are closed. Why are you open?
Well, it's a basic reason, basically. Everyone in the community wakes up and then they just need tomatoes or something for breakfast. So if I close down, I also cripple the people in a sense, because we eat on a daily basis, and to close here will just mean that the food that we have in here is not going to be edible the next day. It has to move, because we are based on a climate and a natural, everything that we sell has a time stamp. The longer we take, the more money we lose.
And some businesses were arguing that they are just closing for their safety. Aren't you worried?
Well, I would be, but they did say that it was going to be a peaceful march. And although I've seen the track record where marches turn violent, I see no reason to close down when so many people can just buy. Thank you.
There you have it from Brandon, basically just saying that it is a necessity for him right now to keep the shop open. But I must tell you that just next door, Brandon, there's another shop, and we saw residents trying to knock on that shop just so that the owner can open for them to get whatever they wanted there, and it still remained shut. So you can see how the national shutdown is also just affecting some of the residents here. And I must tell you that these businesses are closed despite the high police presence here in Galeshewe, because we are seeing police from every corner in Galeshewe. And there's when we were looking for possible protests that are happening, I can tell you that police are on their toes, because we saw a group trying to gather earlier on, but police were swift on it, and they managed to remove that group, or disperse the crowd rather. So that is what's happening now. And we also saw police now, what they're basically doing is removing the rubble on the road, the remnants of the burnt tires. They're also removing the rocks on the road. So you can see that it's a touch and go for police. They have to keep traveling around Galeshewe just to ensure that they are on track, and just to ensure that the protests are very safe. But you must remember, the EFF did say that they are not trying to have a protest that's not peaceful. They were insisting that their protest is going to be peaceful, and some people were saying even if that's the case, there could be criminal elements. And when we spoke to one business person also, he indicated to us that he had to close shop because he doesn't know what will happen, and he was saying that he's closing it more than anything for his safety. So for now, I will just cross back to you in studio as we travel around Galeshewe just to see how the situation is. But we are seeing taxis are still ferrying passengers going to town, because this is the township and most people go to the CBD. So we've been seeing taxis and people getting into taxis. We're still not sure whether they're going to work or they're hoping that they'll find shops that are open in the CBD.